Salve ragazzi, allora vi voglio parlare del periodo elisabettiano, che è considerato uno dei periodi più rosei della storia inglese, della storia britannica. Questo perché con Elisabetta I intanto si pacificò un pochino quello che era il fermento religioso, c'erano due gruppi che si opponevano, i protestanti e i cattolici, e lei cercò in qualche modo di, nonostante fosse una protestante, di cercare di mediare con i cattolici. Ricordiamo che lei era la figlia di Enrico VIII che si era allontanato dalla Chiesa di Roma perché il Papa non gli aveva concesso di divorziare con Caterina d'Aragona e lui voleva ripudiarla per sposare Anna Bolena Anna Bolena appunto la madre di Elisabetta I. Comunque, diciamo nell'ambito della politica interna riuscì a pacificare i due gruppi e nella politica estera invece vinse contro il suo più acerrimo nemico Filippo II di Spagna e con lei cominciò l'ascesa della flotta mercantile britannica, ma questo periodo chiaramente fu segnato anche dall'importanza della nascita dei teatri e naturalmente il periodo di William Shakespeare. E questo periodo sarà un periodo ricordato fino ad oggi per la prolificità delle commedie, delle tragedie scritte e per la grande partecipazione del pubblico agli spettacoli, per cui è considerato a giusto titolo un periodo d'oro. E adesso passiamo un po' ai dettagli. Hello, she's Queen Elizabeth the First, who was born in 1558 and died in 1603. She had a long reign, about 45 years. And the Elizabethan Age is well known in England because it was a golden age. With that, there were many improvements in all fields, in the internal problems of the state, which were characterized by fights between Catholics and Protestants. She was a Protestant because she was the daughter of Henry VIII, who split from the Church of Rome because the Pope didn't consent him to divorce from his wife Catherine of Aragon, and Henry VIII wanted to marry Anne Boleyn. In fact, Elizabeth was the daughter of Henry VIII and his second wife, Anne Boleyn. And so the king said, okay, if the Pope doesn't want to help me with a divorce from my wife, I will split from the Church of Rome and constitute my own church, namely the Church of England. And so Elizabeth tried to reconcile Catholics and Protestants, and she avoided fightings between the two religious groups. And apart from that, with her, England became a great power because she fought one of her worst enemies. And her worst enemies was this man, Philip II, the King of Spain. Spain at that age was very powerful, and she had many colonies in America, and while Portugal had many colonies in the Far East, in India, and in the Indian Ocean. And Philip II had a very huge reign because he had also colonies in the Netherlands, in Holland. As you can see, this is Catholic Spain, and shared also colonies here in the Netherlands. But in a part of the Netherlands, the northern part became independent, and they were helped by England. And so they were fighting against the Catholic part, which was in the south, the country that nowadays is Belgium. And what happens is that, as you can see, this is the southern Catholic part, and this is the northern Protestant part. The Puritans were here. So England was helping this part against the Spanish ruled part. What happened is that Philip II sent the Invincible Armada to fight against England in 1588. And they started from France, and they had several battles in different places, but unfortunately for Spain, the fleet was defeated, as you can see here in this picture. So during the Elizabethan period, England won a worst enemy, the King of Spain, and she also fought against the Spanish colonies in America, and she was sacking the ships full of silver and other precious goods. Okay, let's talk about the theater in the Elizabethan period. Theaters were very important places, and they were called playhouses. They were very popular, and all different kind of social classes went to attend the shows inside a playhouse. So the common people, peasants, middle class, and also the nobility. And they chose different places according to their needs. So you will see it in a while. And London's permanent theatres, before 1574, the theatres were located in the center of London. But in 1574, they were banned because they were considered a disturbance for the citizens of the inner city. And they were moved to the north of London and to the south of London. So theatres like the Theatre, the Curtain, the Fortune, and on the South Bank, the Globe, the Rose, and the Swan were created. Here is the area of Southwark. If you remember, Southwark was the place where Geoffrey Chaucer and his 29 pilgrims met to go to Canterbury. Okay, as I said before, the Theatre, the Curtain, and the Rose were created, and the Swan and the Curtain and the Fortune followed. The architecture of the theatre, so the playhouses, they were round or octagonal, and they were high, 12 meters high. As you can see, there were 3 tiers, 1, 2, 3, and okay. And they had a diameter of 25 meters and a rectangular stage. This is the stage. So there was a stage and with a thatched roof, and it was supported by two pillars. There were three different tiers. The first one was here, the second one, and the third one. So you can see first tier, second tier, third tier. So that was the gallery. And here there was the dressing room for the actors. Okay, the audience could pay different prices, a penny to stay on the ground, and the people who went there were considered groundlings, and sixpence if you wanted a place in the covered galleries. But there was also another place. You could also stay on the stage, paying a little bit more, and for two reasons. The first was to see the actors closely, and the second was to show off, to be seen by the public, and to be admired because you were a very important person by standing on the stage. The spectators ate and drank beer and ate oranges and peanuts, and they expressed their emotion with laughter, tears, and they liked language, expressions, and long speeches. They looked for sensation, metaphors, and extremes, and also thrills and horror. And they enjoyed the history plays or chronicles. As you can see, with Shakespeare, we will study Macbeth. The actors were considered vagabonds, and they could be arrested for that. And to avoid this, they tried to constitute a company under the protection of a patron. And for instance, the Chamberlain's men under Elizabeth I, or the King's men under the new King James I. Okay, the actors could be also shareholders, so they were in part owners of the theatre like Shakespeare was. And they had to change their repertoire, and they had just 2 weeks to prepare a new play. And they had to play several roles in the same performance, and they needed an excellent memory. The female roles were performed by boys, and they learned feminine gestures and intonation until the voice broke, of course. Don't forget that a playhouse was a place where there were also several sports, and such as wrestling, archery, combats between dogs and a bull, or combats between dogs and a bear. So it was a place where people went in the afternoon and enjoyed the show.